one of these riders has the potential at becoming a future star in MotoGP. They're the up-and-coming best of the best from all corners of the earth.
Oh, he's early on the power. Is he going to make the lunge? Excellent from Joe Roberts. Look at Beaubier. He's coming through from the second row. Raul Fernandez, who's gone down. That was a mess on the exit of turn one for Bezzecchi. Sam Lowe's is your winner. Fernandez wins. Remy Gardner, he is number one.
Over the next 8 months, they'll ride the same roller coasters as every motorcycle racing great before them.
He is the Moto2 World Champion!
Only these days, a single second will be the difference between greatness and heartbreak.
Rider, but he's a bit deeper there, side by side.
The 2021 Moto2 World Championship will be over 18 rounds in 10 different countries. 30 riders line up with the dream of becoming world champion and earn a spot as their home country's next big hope in MotoGP. For the United States of America, that opportunity lies in the hands of Joe Roberts and Cameron Beaubier.
Wait, I'm not the only American anymore?
After Joe spent 3 seasons as the only full-time American in Grand Prix racing, there's a familiar face back in town. 5-time Moto America's Superbike champion, Cameron Beaubier.
Cameron's always been a rider that, funny enough, I looked up to as a kid because I always wanted to be in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and I remember seeing him in it in 2007. He was that rider that kind of was a couple steps ahead as far as the career went, and I always thought he was the strongest rider in America for sure.
Beaubier win the race and wrap up the 2019 championship.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, like sometimes I'd lay in bed and be like, man, like what did I get myself into? But
I think he's extremely brave to be taking on the task at hand that he's taken on at this age, at this stage in his career.
He's a cool guy, nice to work with, very calm, very professional.
You know, not your typical hot-headed, you know, boisterous racer as I was when I was in.
There's another man out, this time it's John Hopkins. Looks like a mechanical breakdown for Hopkins.
His stage, but no, extremely quiet, extremely pleasant. He's a good guy, really, really good guy.
oh, there he is, dude.
Me and Cameron are good friends too, so it's nice to have a friend here and another friendly face, another American voice to talk to for sure.
I had a previous conversation with his manager before that about some ideas, maybe to do something with him. When Joe took the decision to leave the team,
my manager, Bob Moore and Eton, started talking, and it kind of came out of nowhere. It was just kind of out of the blue that this deal came together, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like I never really saw myself back in the MotoGP paddock because it just kind of seemed so far away, but
I think it took us a few hours to understand that we can do the deal and make it happen and bring it home.
I was like, man, like if this is the shot, like it's now or never type of thing, and we're here, it's game time.
Our 2 protagonists might be friends off the track, but they won't let that get in the way of the task at hand.
I don't know, man. I don't want to give him too much advice, you know? No, I'm kidding.
Who is Joe Roberts?
Joe Roberts, he's the first American to stand on a Grand Prix podium since Ben Spies in Assen back in 2011.
It's funny because I'm only 28, but 28, you know, but so I almost like back in America, I kind of looked as Joe as just like an up and coming kid, you know, but now obviously he's a man and he's going fast.
Joe is I think he's a really good soul.
For me, he's a fast rider.
In a personal level, he's a really good guy, very focused, very motivated.
With us, maybe Joe can be very, very strong.
So, what's it like being on the current World Championship winning team?
Yeah, to be on the Italian team, the Italtrends racing team, it's a different thing. A whole lot more coffees, a whole lot more espressos. I mean, the budget for espressos is a high budget. I feel a really good place in my life right now, actually. I had a test last year that went quite well in just a one-day test in Jerez.
His confidence with the team and also with the bike, he said that he feels very good with the bike.
I think the grip started going down. Yeah.
And I think we're making steady progress towards getting a really strong mentality and approach to the races so we can accomplish big things.
I'm not going to say it's going to be easy from here. There's going to be some times that are difficult, for sure. But I feel I'm in the right place to kind of overcome difficult things and, if anything, not let them affect me like maybe they did last year.
With one of our protagonists' 2021 preparation going to plan, the other is taking his first steps into the severe discomfort zone.
I remember Remy Gardner, like, he came around the outside of me like I was standing still, like, and I was like my second stint out there, and I was just like I have to go that fast? Like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing?
You know you can do any lap time these guys can do.
It's obviously going to take a little time. I have a lot to learn, you know, bike, team, tracks, just everything, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be up front. You know, I left the comfortability of being home all the time and my friends, my family at home that I'm super close with. Obviously, you know, my fiance is going to come over here next month, so that'll be really cool to have her over here and kind of show her around what the little bit I've learned of Spain and the area that I'm living in. But for sure, I'd say I'm all in.
All that talk, testing, and preseason hype leads us to one final question before the lights go out. Are they ready?
I'm ready as I can be.
I don't know if I'm ready. We'll find out tomorrow if I'm ready.
Lights, camera, action. The first stop of the 2021 lap of the world is where it has been for the last decade, out in the desert peninsula named Qatar. Only this year, for the first time ever, there'll be not one, but two races, one weekend and the next.
I thought that I would be, you know, more nervous than I was and stuff like that, but for whatever reason, racing at night definitely like takes the edge off too. Maybe it's because you didn't have, you know, your coffee in the morning, you're all hyped up or whatever, you know, it's worn off, you know, till then. Yeah, you just go about your day so much different than you do at a normal event.
So I think I thought showing up to Qatar, we would just kill it. That was in my mind just because of what I'd done the year before.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will have an American on pole position for the first race of 2020. Through goes Roberts to take the lead of the race. 6 laps to go. What a race we've got in line here.
Gardner versus Roberts, what a classic battle. Joe Roberts, his time will come, a career best 4th place.
But for whatever reason, my feeling was a bit different this year than the year before.
Yeah, it's a strong second row, isn't it, with Bezzecchi, Roberts and Gardner.
3 men who could be fighting for the World Championship this year.
Moto2 2021 is go. Roberts going through on Gardner. Joe Roberts goes through on Jake Dixon.
Joe Roberts was just ahead of the heroic Jake Dixon in 7th.
It's hard when you enter a new team. I think especially a team that's just won the World Championship, you want to do what they've just finished with, but that's not always the case because you're a different rider, different kind of mentality, different way of doing things. So there has to be an adjustment period. I think that was a solid start and good introduction for the team.
On one side, the first race of the season didn't perhaps live up to expectation. But a couple of boxes further along the pit lane, expectations were exceeded on all accounts.
If he does that pace tomorrow in the race, that's gonna be a race pace for the top 10. You got that pace tomorrow, you'll be in the top 10.
There's Beaubier, what a ride for him. He's having a real good ding-dong here with Augusto Fernandez. They keep swapping places, those two. It's Beaubier, look at that sideways, dirt track style, love it. Up the inside of Champiat Chantra. What a Moto2 debut for Cameron Beaubier. Wasn't even losing a second a lap to the experienced Sam Lowes. He was 11th.
Oh, amazing. That first one was really good for me though, like confidence-wise.
The podcasts were awesome, man. Yeah.
He finished 11th, so it was good feeling. We felt like we're in the podium, you know, because it wasn't expectation he's gonna do top 15.
Because just like having that kind of sniff of the top 10 so early on, I think that was good for me. I would say what I learned from the first race at Qatar is just like how to approach the whole weekend, and I'm still learning that. But I definitely came into the second Qatar like a lot more calm and ready to get rolling, you know? Like I'm rolling out on track, I know where I'm going. Basically, you're just trying to get right back up to speed on a track that you know.
Most important thing is you know you can do it now. When you start having fun, that's when you're gonna be fast. Last full day in the desert, let's make it count. All right, man, you're here for a reason. You're the best in the world. You got this, man.
After a solid start and reaching beyond expectations in round one, it looked like the second go-around in the desert would see much of the same, but ended up with both riders filing it in the one of those days folder.
Oh dear, there's a big crash. Is that Joe Roberts? He's gone down. It is the American. At least he's up and okay, but he'll be furious.
Yeah, he is. Look at his face. That is a face of thunder.
I remember it being pretty windy that second race, and it especially was hitting in that spot. And I was just digging after the guy in front, trying to catch up to, I think it was Raul maybe, and just tried to push a little too much, and the wind came at the right moment and just pushed me off onto the curb, and I just lost the front, so.
Cameron Beaubier's crashed out of this Grand Prix.
Well, it's not been a great night for the Americans then, has it? Not at all. Roberts down and out, Beaubier down and out. The pair of them in very strong point-scoring finishing places as well.
I was pretty confident going into that race, and I got a pretty bad start, got shuffled back. Honestly, I was just pushing too hard. Like I was riding a little bit over my head, and that front end crash that I've had a handful of times this year, just like right when I let off the front brake, yeah, that happened.
It was one of those things, and you know, it's gonna happen on this bike with Cameron, and we always knew it because it's about learning limits.
Sorry, guys.
No, dude. Hey, you pushed a little too hard, man. And because you definitely would have been in that top 7. Joe crashed out right before you.
That was a bit of a bummer, losing all those points already in round 2. But we showed good speed, and it was a good season opener, especially the first race.
We was confident for the second, but really he was competitive, and one mistake is normal in a season.
That level running at the front is just a small mistake that we also learned from it. So yeah, it was overall a positive weekend.
Two contrasting weekends. One, converting potential into results. The other, a lesson in patience along the winding road to success. Something that the double winner from Qatar knows all too well.
Yeah, that's what's great. You know, everyone's working hard in the winter. We're all training hard. So when you train, you're thinking about the season, the first race. It's quite a big build-up. You know, the other races you have a couple of weeks. This one you have all winter to build up. So it's a little bit more pressure in that way. And you turn up, and to get the job done at the first one makes you feel good. And it was a really nice emotion.
Sam Lowe's wins here in Qatar. A fantastic effort from him. Back-to-back wins in Qatar for Sam Lowe's. A brilliant ride from the Brit.
Qatar's a track that I love. I think can make a big difference. You know, you come to a track that you like, you go fast at, and you get the won the first weekend, and then we're straight back there the second weekend. I think it was just, you know, you're on a bit of a wave and you ride it.
Trophy goes to Sam Lowe's.
I think there's 95% is your setting, the way you're riding, the team, the bike, but the last bit is just mentally and confidence, and it's something that is hard to explain when you have it, hard to explain how you get to the point where you're on, like in Qatar, and then also equally as hard when you've not got it to find it. You know, you look everywhere and it's something, bit of an unwritten rule, or you just got to keep your head down, keep plugging away, and then when the wave comes, you know, sort of ride it. That's the sort of the way I look at it. When things are going good, you've got to get on that train. So, yeah, that's for me the hardest thing in Moto2 is to keep your head down when things are going difficult.
If the riders thought that 3 weeks in the desert to start the year was intense, they're about to get another shock to the system as the MotoGP circus heads back to Europe.
Roberts leads from Canet and Remy Gardner.
The race was crazy race, man.
They're almost contact. He touches Joe Roberts.
Anybody who watched it would know that was a crazy race. Some of the crazy crashes, and I'm saying crazy a lot because it was.
Who is eating bubble?
Oh man, that's just slimy boss, man. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny because like, yeah, he is the boss of the team, but he doesn't act like that. You know, he's friends with, it really is. It seems like it's a really cool family atmosphere. And
Who's John Hopkins?
John Hopkins, he's a legend of the sport in my eyes. When I came here in Rookies Cup, like there was only a couple guys I knew, you know, it was Nicky Hayden, John Hopkins, and Colin Edwards, obviously Valentino Rossi, but like those are the guys that were just like, you know, like, oh my gosh.
Who is Robertino Pietri?
Well, Robertino Pietri, he is a crazy Venezuelan. Crazy guy. I've known him such a long time. Well, not like such a long time, but a good amount of time from when I was racing back in 2013. I was racing with John Orich on a Honda in the Superstock series, and he was racing a superbike.
Who is Federico Santi?
Federico is the light side of the team, the guy that keeps things fun, keeps things upbeat, and always making jokes, and also quite serious with the way he approaches things with the riding coach and stuff like that. So, and I guess my Italian teacher.
How's your Italian?
My Italian is My Italian is really bad.
How's your Spanish?
Non-existent.